You see me in
Maria, don't do it by yourself. What? We do move it, but not by oneself. Unless you're George, of course. Ah.
Recording in progress.
Well, we still got 4 minutes. You guys are welcome to keep talking.
Recording in progress.
Audio going.
the audio.
What now?
Guess it would help if I turned on the microphone. I apologize to everyone in Zoom land.
Y'all set?
Sorry, Gary. Yeah, turn it, if you could like, knock it down a couple.
Lynn Trudell, 221 Glen Avenue.
I,
And it's very appropriate that this is what happened here today, because my privilege of the floor statement is, could we get an update on what might be going on with the municipal project? And when you see community members like this, or like Tony, who would not easily be able to access this building, and we would not have been able to have this ceremony and honor him in his service or with his friends. So it's just something I think that heightens and shows us how much we really do need a better facility for the village, for the fire department, for the police department, and for these kinds of meetings. Thank you.
so then I was gonna save it for the mayor's comments, but I'd be happy to tell you now. So we have made a little bit of progress, and we intend to make quite a lot more very soon. So we've limited, we just recently had another option come on the table, which is a good one. And so the plan is sometime in the beginning of December to have a public forum and give, we've got two sites that will work nicely. They each have some problems with them. And this third one, and we're going to put the three of them before the public and say, look, here's what we're hoping to do. Which one do you like? No, give us your thoughts. So we should by then be able to have in the next couple of weeks, we'll be working on prices and availability and that sort of thing. So we've had a lot of things get in the way, but not the least being a pandemic, but we're heading in the right direction, I think. Okay. Privilege of the floor. Bob, step up to the microphone. That's right. Say your piece.
I'm Robert Prosco. Why it takes so long, it takes over a month to get the meetings posted. And number two is, why hasn't anything been posted of your meetings and work section since August 31st?
At the end of this meeting, we'll approve the minutes of October 5th, October 13th, October 18th, and November 2nd.
But September hasn't even been on yet.
What?
September hasn't been on. I just went on today to check, and September hasn't been posted yet. Last minutes posted was August 31st.
You think it has, Maria?
I requested it.
Okay, we'll check it. It should be.
Okay,
It
yeah,
certainly
because
should
a
be.
lot of people can't come to the meetings
Okay,
like me, and I read them whenever they're posted, but I don't understand why, with the technology and everything there is today, why it takes a month to get posted in the first place.
well, we do wait until the board approves them, right, Maria? It's
So the draft minutes are posted as a link on the agenda. Like, so for tonight's meeting, you could see the draft minutes from the ones we're gonna approve tonight.
Mhm.
And then after they're approved, then they're posted to the website.
All right, well,
Bob, I'll give you a guided tour of it sometime later in the week.
yeah,
I'll show you
I
where it
just,
is.
it's August 31st was the last ones that's posted. Well,
Anybody else who'd like to be heard at privilege of the floor?
Yes, I'd like to. My name is Gary
Certainly,
Allen.
Gary. Yeah,
Hi, how are you?
good.
Thank you. Nice to talk with you, Mayor, and the village board. I want to thank you all for considering
Gary,
the dog park.
what's your address?
Formerly I was at 616 Orlinda Avenue, which is town, but very close, obviously, to the dog park, which is my concern.
Yeah.
And now we reside up at Glenesk Apartments, 211
Okay.
Saginaw Road, next to the high school.
Yeah.
And I've been working with Heather Gray, and she's been very helpful in trying to work out something whereby perhaps a mutual agreement with the town could be so that people who live really close to the Flint House Dog Park, rather than driving all the way out to Van Buren, could be able to, taccess that and not have to pay the $50, which is tough, especially when you're retired. But I wanted to thank you all for taking under consideration and especially the work with Ms. Gray as far as working towards that hopefully resolution of that issue and working with the town also in that. So I wanted to thank you all.
Okay,
And
Thank you.
hopefully yep, thank you.
very good. Is there anybody else who'd like to be heard? Seeing none, we'll close that. Item number 5. So it's introduction of a local law 2021G relating to encumbrances of streets and sidewalks. Is there anybody who would be willing to propose that?
I'll propose to introduce local law 2021-G related to the encumbrance of streets and sidewalks.
And I would second it.
Is there any comments? One would assume.
I do have a comment. So I just want to formally state for the record that I am opposed to this law. After doing some research, as well as looking at current village code, as well as some New York State law, I do not believe that it is necessary. This local law is actually redundant, and furthermore will disproportionately impact working families with undue fees and burden our staff with additional and unnecessary administrative work. This law also contradicts existing local law and is, in my opinion, furthermore redundant. Current and existing local law and state laws gives the village the authority to address dumpsters and ensure public safety without adding additional law. For example, our safety concerns about visibility at night is actually covered by New York State General Business Law number 392H. That actually requires all dumpster companies and users to comply with the following. No person or entity in possession of a trash or refuse receptacle commonly referred to as a dumpster or carting unit having the capacity of more than 25 cubic yards shall allow or cause the same to remain unattended on a public street, highway, or sidewalk unless such receptacle shall have clearly visible fluorescent stripe or marking at least 6 inches wide, which stripe or marking may be broken or segmented, located around the entire outside of the perimeter thereof. Failure to comply with the provisions thereof shall be subject to such person or entity to a civil penalty of $25 per day per unit for each day such failure shall occur. The provisions of this section shall other than on a driveway. The law also includes trailers in that step into that definition. So with the current encumbrances law 210-8 and local law 240-18 and local law 250-54 and the New York General Business Law 392H, the village has plenty of legal authority to control an issue that is by no means a significant issue. These laws also give the village the opportunity to prevent the issue. I'd like to request that we withdraw this local law from consideration. Rather than eventually pass a contradictory and/or redundant law, I suggest that we focus our time on drafting guidance to residents on the process for securing permission and clearly publish the information online on the village website. If there is concern about adding clarification, specifying that dumpsters are included in the current encumbrance law, I did submit to you, Mayor Gifford, and to Lydia, a proposed amendment of the current encumbrance law without the need for any additional fines or without any additional permit fees. Or quite frankly, it's just simply adding dumpsters to the existing encumbrance law. So with that, I yield my time.
You already exceeded your time.
I
know. Thank you. I read the stuff that you sent. I don't think it's true. I mean, I don't think you're completely right, especially the thing with the New York state law only talks about dumpsters over 25 yards. Mostly what we have in the streets are 25 or under. And we still don't, I can't see the detrimental effect to the village to have a small charge for keeping track of those the licenses and maybe some control over them. But anyway, is there anybody else who'd like to say anything before we vote on that?
I'd like to say, as always, Justin, thank you for the effort you put into this, because
Very much
it's
so.
obviously hearing the granularity from a different view is always important with these types of things. Being a guy who lives in the village full time and has had many a dumpster at my house, it's important to keep things in mind, because driving through the village, you do see things that aren't properly identified. I think this brings a little bit more guidance to the issue, and I think if we have some more framework and we can put that in place long-term with the fee structure, and the application has some guidance on it, on what the expectation is, and then actually empowering the village service forces to oversee this, then I think this will be a good thing. And $50 to take care of any of the management, I don't think is a large stretch in my opinion. But again, I do appreciate all the work you do for these things, because it's not everybody has the time to do such a deep dive. So
I just want to point out the reason why, specifically with the permit fee, the folks that's targeting are essentially the folks who live in plot sizes, specifically the numbered streets, even elements of my neighborhood, where you literally don't have any other choice but to put the dumpster in the road. And what that ends up doing is you're targeting the more affordable homes in the area that are working families, as well as myself. And when you're doing a home renovation project and you're potentially already paying upwards of $600 to $700 worth of permit fees, an additional $50 for a dumpster, that does become a financial burden. Where meanwhile, residents that perhaps might have more means to pay that $50 have the benefit of larger plot sizes and not having shared driveways, where they can put a dumpster in their backyard or in their driveway and simply call the Scotia Police Department to park their car on the street for overnight while they have the dumpster. The other thing that's important to understand, the village resident oftentimes has no control over when a dumpster company will come and pick up the dumpster. So by putting a 14-day period, when our current code was 30 days for portable storage units, I just think the 14 days does not give village residents enough time to do the work and potentially work with a business that may not be entirely responsive to the request to remove the dumpster. So now we're penalizing village resident for that by charging them $200 plus a 15% administrative fee. When our DPW has to go out and remove the dumpster. And again, I go back to who's going to be charged with monitoring and seeing what dumpsters are out for 14 days? When do they drop? When do they go away? Are we gonna hire another DPW attendant to go around and police dumpsters?
So there's one other thing that I wanted to comment on with that, is when you're saying that the two laws conflict. To bring it particularly to our attention, one of our employees has a pod in the street in front of their house this week, because the driveway is too steep to put the pod in it. So I'm thinking we will need to revise the pod law so that it goes with this. And if we decide to do this, so that those aren't conflicting. But I think rather than have this not give permission for a pod, I think we need to give the permission to put the pod in the street with this law. Anyway.
I've called a number of waste management companies about pickup on a dumpster.
Yeah.
And County Waste, Twin Bridges, a number of them I asked, and they said they can have a dumpster picked up within 2-3 days of their ending of use. So it's not like the thing will be laying around for a week or two. The only thing the contractors do, or the customer, you just have to make a phone call, and then within 2 days, the dumpster will be gone. Or possibly the same day.
Well, whatever. I mean, I don't think the charge, if we have to remove it and it's their fault, they're going to have to buy it back from us. It's not like.
But we're still assessing.
yeah.
We're still assessing a penalty on the homeowner. We're assessing a
Technically,
$200 fine and a 15% administrative surcharge on the homeowner, not on the dumpster company.
But the dumpster company is going to have to pay that to get their dumpster back.
So what happens if a village resident
We can't not put it on the owner.
asks their dumpster company that may not be as administrative savvy with picking up the dumpster as, a Twin Bridges or County Waste? What they call and say it needs to be gone, and they come and pick it up on, they don't come and pick it up until day 15 or 16. We're gonna really assess a $200 fine on a village resident for something clearly beyond their control.
I even called an independent, a couple independent units, Jim's Pickup, and they also confirmed that they can pick a dumpster up within the day or two after their call.
But even so, I think my point is still a good one. If we impound the dumpster someplace and you assume that the thing is worth more than $200, they need to come get it.
So we're charging storage fees to them, but again, it still doesn't address, we're penalizing a property owner who may not necessarily have any control over whether or not a dumpster is picked up on day 14 or day 15. And the way the law reads, they get assessed without notice.
I think we've discussed this at length at multiple work sessions, and the continued discussion here is there's lots of good points going on for sure. And again, having been that guy who's had many a dumpster, there's zero chance that they will go past the time, and it's week by week. So there's zero chance they're going to let that money making item sit wherever it is for an extended period of time. Yes, there is a chance that somebody could not necessarily oversee their own operation as a homeowner. And I really do think that any correspondence of a day or so will be easily mitigated by just a phone call.
Correct.
So again, it's a lot of what ifs, and it is possible in the way the law reads that is a possible thing, but I can tell you that I've tried to get them to leave it an extra week and they're like, nope, it's gonna be another $400. And that's not something that I make sure I fill it on the night before.
Thank
I
you.
just want to
So-
add too, I want
yeah.
to thank Lydia for writing up the local law. I also agree. I don't see this going past the 14 days, but you know, just a shout out to Lewis and DPW, just to, you know, have that conversation. Hey, this dumpster, there's an issue here. And we've held that approach for all our codes. So I think, you know, there just has to be really good communication between the resident and the
Right, I
village.
believe that's right.
Also, I do support the nominal charge. I know the mayor, you've been wanting this and been working on it. And we've discussed this local law for a while now, but I think that it's important to know it is a nominal charge. We were talking about $25 to $50. And when it was initially written up, I believe it was $100.
Yep.
And we agreed that it was a little bit too much. So it is a permit fee. It goes on a fee schedule like all the other nominal items, and I'm in support of it. And it's not to burden the homeowner, but it is just here to have some clarification. And when I was speaking with Lydia yesterday at length about this, it was her opinion that we do need the local law. So I support that, and I support the mayor on this.
Thank you. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Coe,
No.
trustee Rizzo,
Yes,
Mayor Gifford,
Yes,
trustee Gray,
Yes.
trustee Solichak.
Yes, and again, thank you, Justin, for doing the work. I really look forward to having that done for every single thing that we do. And I'm truthful with that because it's,
Okay.
again,
Yeah,
it's sometimes we
appreciate that.
have more opportunities to do those things, but you really do pretty much every time do some research and put some time into it. So thank you.
Thank you.
all right. Item number 6. Can we have a motion to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with the town of Glenville for use of the dog park?
I'll make the motion for the mayor to sign the agreement with the town of Glenville for use of the dog park.
and I will second that motion.
Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Coe,
No.
trustee Rizzo,
Yes,
trustee Gray,
Yes.
trustee Solichak,
No, as written, I don't think it provides enough benefit for the village, which is kind of our charge. So.
Mayor Gifford.
Yes, I said, but you may be right, George, but I think we'll find that out and it won't hurt us a lot.
I just want to add
Oh.
too, that this is only for 1 year as written, and
Exactly.
we're going to take a look at the first year and see what the value is to the village residents with regards to the use of the dog park.
Thank you. Item number 7, can we authorize the mayor to sign change order number 4? Now,
I would like to make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign change order 4 for contract 1 waste removal and disposal in the amount of $196,900.89.
I'll second that motion, and I'd like Tom, what's the update on that, the project?
so,
Uh,
yeah, let's vote on it, and then
Okay.
I'll do that. Call the roll.
Trustee Coe,
Yes.
trustee Rizzo,
Yes,
trustee Gray,
Yes.
trustee Solichak,
Yes, I entrust that the Department of Public Works is overseeing this and it's a necessary change.
Mayor Gifford.
Yes. This is the work they've done last week. There's still a little more to do, which is do you want to outline that, Ryan?
So they finished pumping out the digester tanks yesterday. So the removal of the PCBs is done. There's still some boxes that are at the storage plant that can be taken out to Seneca Falls for disposal. So the next part of the project would be demolition. It's good that that part's done. And there was more PCBs in the digester tanks than they originally thought by almost 100 tons. So it is over budget for that as of right now. But we knew that it was going to be higher than we thought, but not this high. So we are moving forward now that they completed that part of the project.
Do we expect any more
So.
drastic overage? I know we can't expect another
Yeah,
100
we-
tons of,
Trying to know what we're at right now for overages. There will be a change order 5, but I haven't gotten that yet. I have an idea where it's gonna be. Me and the mayor discussed it a little bit, so it's on our radar. We're gonna try to call a meeting next week to get everybody on board what's happening.
So you, Ryan, or Maria, or Lydia have any feeling whether that overage could come out of the sewage fund?
I spoke with Paul Johnson from EFC today, and we can either request to increase the amount that we borrow, but that would require additional bond resolutions, and or it can come from fund balance and it's considered a municipal contribution.
But that's what I mean. Can it come out of G?
Yep. He
Okay,
said EFC doesn't have a concern with that.
okay.
yeah, as far as anything more, the more information, as soon as you have it, the better.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah.
quick, like of that meeting, just a quick, like, here's what it is with this much extra,
Well,
blah, blah, blah.
I mean, Ryan's getting really, really good at, throwing us things that cost more money.
Curveball, every-
Stuff happens. It's just, obviously we want to be prepared to answer any questions we have for this, because it seems kind of easy to spend more money, but we
Yeah.
are confident that it's being done with necessity. It's just
Yeah,
having some more guidance behind it.
I did include the memo in
Yeah.
the thing. I
Yeah.
don't know.
My question regarding the PCBs, do we know where that contamination came from?
I don't, it's contained in the tanks only. It's not in the admin building, it's only in the tanks, so just the one tank that they thought they knew the amount in it, there ended up being more sludge because that one had the cover on it, no internal access. They just drilled holes in and stuck their every place it's in, and it was a kind of a guess, but they thought they had a good idea what was in there, so it was over that, so.
Okay.
They certainly took away a lot of large containers.
Yes, there was, at one point, there was almost 1 container down there.
Yeah. Okay, item number 8, can we have a resolution to authorize payment number 5 to Precision Industrial?
I'll make a motion to authorize payment number 5 to Precision Industrial Maintenance.
I'll second that motion.
Clerk call the roll?
Trustee Coe,
Yes.
trustee Rizzo.
Yes.
Trustee Gray,
Yes,
trustee Solichak,
Yes.
Mayor Gifford.
Yes. Item 9, can we authorize the mayor to sign maintenance contract with Repeat Business Systems for the police copier?
I'll make the motion.
Why do they need a copier? I don't, yeah. Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 10, can we have a resolution to amend the fund year 21-22 budget to increase F 83-20-54-40?
4540.
Yeah, all right.
I gotta, no, go ahead, Tom,
Go ahead.
I got a question on this. Can we, and I talked to Paul Tonko's office, even though we have some more funding coming in with the stimulus, with the infrastructure bill that they just passed, we need to get these well pumps running. As you know, one of the pumps is not running right now. And I talked to Paul Tonko's office and their grant writer over there. And they said we can use the money that we got from the government for their covert funding. He said we can use that as an infrastructure to in our water system to get these 2 pumps we need to have replaced, done. So we don't have to deplete the F fund any more than we have to. Even though we do possibly have money coming in from the government, it's going to take time for them to get the language out. And it's also going to get time to figure out how much money we're going to get from them. So we have
Well,
this
but that's,
funding, we have this funding in place right now. I would soon use that and get our pumps, the 2 pumps that need to be repaired. And then whatever we want to do with the rest of it.
But we have this money in the F fund fund balance, which is much more appropriate to use than the other money, which can go for A fund stuff, which is a better use of it. I'd feel a lot more comfortable taking that out of fund balance. Out of water fund balance, you know, much more appropriate.
Well, I don't see that the depreciation of this fund balance, if we have the money right now to do it. I mean, if we have the money from the government, let's use it to our advantage and put it in and get these pumps replaced and keep that funding amount in the F fund. Now, they also said that the bill that they passed this week will also have some information on infrastructure, water, sewer, but the language isn't completed yet, and the financial part of it isn't completed yet either. So it may be a while before we get that funding, but we have this funding here. I should save the 34,000 in our F fund and use the money that we get from the government.
So where are we with this motion? I don't,
We didn't even make a motion yet.
okay,
I'd like to make a motion to upgrade a little over 800,000 in ARPA funds. It's not like we have a huge windfall like the town of Glenville or some of the cities. So it's not an infinite amount. But we've been neglecting those additional upgrades for about 10 years now.
Right,
So
that's why I said to use the funding we have from the government right
okay.
now.
So do we have a second?
I'll second. I don't think that I don't think currently at this time we have that money to spend, the ARPA funding. And this is one of those things that needs to be done right away. I do appreciate the fact that it's, you know, we're going to need to put together a list of things that we have to accomplish with that ARPA funding that won't be, you know, there won't be ARPA funding every year.
Clerk call the roll.
This is one of those things that needs to be done.
Trustee Cook,
yes,
trustee Rizzo,
No,
Mayor Whitson,
Yes,
trustee Gray,
Yes,
trustee Solichak.
Yes.
item number 11, can we have a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the controlled substance operational agreement with Ellis Hospital? So this is our restock of narcotics, and we use it for the paramedics.
I would move the
program.
motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Item 12, mayor's comments to the board. So we've been chugging along this month. I have to commend the police department because they haven't had any great big expenses for us, but you know, DPW doing. But anyway, I wanted to shout out to the police department, not really for that, but they've had a couple of pretty creative arrests recently, and they're seem to be doing quite well. I saw an email today and I hadn't heard about it, but I understand that Jared got hurt.
Yeah,
Is he okay? What's
yeah, he during an arrest, he tackled the guy and hurt his back.
okay?
Sore. He said he's doing all right. I called him, he said it's just sore. I just found out about it.
So the police department helped the fire department last week. There was a garage fire on Glen Avenue. It was a big garage right in between two houses. And Sergeant Brady smelled it and found it and called it in before it really lit up, and we got there and put it out before, the garage still looks like a garage. So it was good for the fire department, good for the police department. The DPW has been going around picking up leaves. The village is looking good. You've been all around once, right? And they're also still picking up yard waste the hard way. But what happened with the city truck? Did that not work out? I take it.
It broke.
That's when they give it to you.
We
What?
tried. We tried. It made it back to the city though, so that was a plus.
Okay. So there are, as I told Lynn earlier, we've been still working behind the scenes on the fire department location. Stewart's had a meeting with the planning board about their development over here, and that looks, it's certainly not a done deal yet, but it's looking a little more positive that they will be able to give us something that looks like it belongs on a village street instead of, I don't know, on Route 50 someplace. And so that's a good thing. The mobile station is in the process of, they've switched owners, and the landlord assured me that they would be much better tenants. It's still going to be a mobile station. They're supposedly putting some money into the building. Lewis has been complaining that they haven't been filing for building permits or doing what they're supposed to. So I'm hoping he's telling us the truth about them being good tenants, but we'll see what happens. Lewis is on top of that anyway. I think that's good for now. Item 13, correspondence liaison and special committee reports. Justin?
All right, so it's been a busy month for DPW, as you mentioned. There is the loose leaf pickup for village residents, so all you got to do is rake your leaves, blow your leaves to your front green strip in front of your sidewalk. We encourage you not to put it in the road because it is a safety hazard for cyclists and motorcyclists if they get wet. So that's ongoing. In addition to that, just a couple weeks ago, they finished up all the fire hydrant flushing, which is an annual exercise, important annual exercise for not only water quality, but for public safety. During the hydrant flushing, they were able to identify and repair any fixed or broken fire hydrants. Those fire hydrants were done. So now we can all rest easy knowing that we have ample water flow and supply should we ever need to use it for a fire. The linkage study project is continuing. Looks like the end of November, we'll be having another public comment section or public engagement session. It's important for village residents as well as visitors to the village to participate in this linkage study to really help us imagine and configure a new streetscape for Mohawk Ave, one that is ADA compliant as well as meets the needs of a complete streets initiative with bikes, pedestrian way, as well as cars and freight traffic. So stay tuned on that. Holiday, I'm hoping we propose to those involved to try to table at Mohawk Ave. It's a perfect opportunity for some public engagement. So we'll hopefully, I'll be contacting you, Joe, to see if we can get a table for that. Another, let's see, another big completion for DPW was, collaborating with Village Parks to have the handicap parking spaces for Freedom Park. Also, as a Freedom Park board member, I thank the Village of Scotia for prioritizing that parking lot and allowing for accessible parking for our concert goers. That was a huge thing, a huge part of it. And then continuing the work with the wastewater treatment plant demolition. I, like most village residents, eagerly look forward to that blighted eyesore gone and replaced with a beautiful green space and overlook along the river, really celebrating our waterfront community status. Fun fact, in October, 956,387 gallons of water was pumped. And that is with one pump going. So thank you to the board for prioritizing that new pumps so we can get back up to full capacity. I do want to encourage the board to consider the continual development to address the risk management issues that we need to address regarding our pump station, including moving a transformer 10 feet up. So if God forbid there is any catastrophic flooding or anything that might happen in that general area, that our wastewater or our water pump station is not impacted or out of service. For the ZBA, the Zoning Board of Appeals did meet to address a case regarding a addition that was put on the side of a property. You know, it was pretty easy going, it passed. So we're going there. I want to just encourage the mayor and we need to have new members appointed. There is a vacancy on the Zoning Board of Appeals. We need to get that fulfilled so we can do quorum. The bid is busily and actively preparing to support Holiday on the Ave. They're really excited for it this year. And there is actually sending out information to all the businesses for a decorating contest, a business storefront decorating contest. So when you come down to Holiday on the Ave, be sure to support your local Mohawk Ave businesses and village businesses that'll be participating, and enjoy the festive stroll through our Mohawk Ave. Mrs. Claus and Santa are certainly going to be probably seen shopping in some of our businesses as well. That is really all I have. So thank you.
So Maria, you sent me an email today about the zoning board members. Should I do that now?
At the organizational meeting.
Okay,
Because Brian and Charlene are alternates, but they can act
okay,
if they're needed, but we need two alternates.
Right.
If you move.
okay. Joe?
Hello, I attended the ribbon cutting ceremony at the handicap parking lot down in Collins Park. It was well attended by county legislatures and village board members and DPW people. I also was on a tour of our water pumping station with Trustee Gray and Mayor Gifford. We looked at the usage of the plant and how it operated, and we took a walk up and looked at all the wellheads and everything, so it's quite educational. We had a Holiday on the Avenue meeting yesterday. Things are coming together very well. Looks like we're going to have a pretty good size Christmas parade for local businesses. We have our skateboarding park down at the Kohlers. He said he would attend the parade, and our BMX bike people, and the next one up, they're also going to attend the parade if they can get together. And we want to try to get maybe Turf Tavern and the Floor Shop to put some type of vehicle in there to advertise that they are part of the village. So everything is looking good. We're going to have activities set up for the kids. We have things going on in the bank. There'll be listing of stuff going around the village, so people will know what's going on at certain times. We are having our 25th lighting of our tree, and this year it's going to be we're going to try to get a big tree for the village green this year. And we're gonna have a decorating date where we're going to be putting that up and decorating the rest of the village. And that's all I have to report this month.
Thank you. Trustee Gray?
I think we're all ready for Holiday in the Avenue,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's gonna be quite attended this year, since last year we had our little run around parade, which was very successful, so.
If Halloween is any indication of Holiday of the Avenue, I think that we're gonna do pretty well here. I did meet with Chief Harrigan with regards to our monthly meeting updates. And thank you again, Chief, for meeting me. I believe we did speak about the officer wellness grant. The board did approve that and the chief did apply for that. So more on that. And I think that that's a great grant for the officer. So hopefully we'll be able to implement that shortly. Also, the window, the famous window. I want to thank Ryan and his crew for putting that in. The chief and I have been working on that for some time now, and it was a great idea, especially with even just the traffic between the clerk's office and the police and courts. So one step done, also the signs outside. Mask mandate is in place, so please comply with that, so we don't have any issues coming up to the police and courts as well as the clerk's office. With regards to the firearms training, all the officers completed that, so they're in good standing. The cameras, we are still in the process of obtaining a grant for that. More to come on the cameras for the village next year. Also, we did have an opportunity, I think, Chief, you're gonna get back to us on perhaps another police reform committee meeting. I know that's maybe the mayor and you can. Okay. And the reform grant we got in May, the $20,000 from Schenectady County, and the chief is working on that. That's gone towards things such as the laptops. We have 2 laptops and the computer software, and also some other costs within the police department. I think that's it from the police department update. Also, with regards to the clerk's office will be closed for Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for all the veteran service. It's a wonderful holiday, and I'm glad that Trustee Rizzo, we took a moment of silence, so thank you. So thank you for your service, vets. Also, with regards to the financial audit, it's still being completed, and I believe that will be completed shortly, right, Maria? With regards to the town will be celebrating Veterans Day tomorrow at 11 o'clock up at Thomas Courtner. So everyone, if you're interested and you're in the area, it would be a nice event to stop by. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Oh, I do have one more thing. I want to put a shout out and say, you know, Christmas and the holidays are upcoming. I support local, shop local. I did stop down to Saints. It's the BMX store, skateboard store over at, I think it's 131 Mohawk. I did have the opportunity to meet the owner, Rodney Wilson. Great guy. Welcome to the community, and thank you for giving back. There were a lot of kids in the store, and he's doing a great giving back to the community. The kids are stopping in there and fixing their bikes and skateboards. So welcome and good luck to you.
Did you get to ride a skateboard?
I didn't yet, but you know, Trustee Rizzo, if he does it, I will.
Oh, okay.
And the mayor, I'd be third in line in that.
Just to add one moment on the new store, he is having a food drive for the food pantry, so if anybody
saw that.
has something to drop off,
Okay.
he was welcome to drop off at the store. They can walk in. I was really impressed about the bikes and stuff, so I may take one of the bikes out for a cruise.
I also want to thank Travis. The mayor and Joe and I did go to the pump station for the tour. And it was quite interesting. And I do have a better appreciation for our water in the village after a tour like that. It's not a simple thing, you know, we flush our toilets, we turn on the water in the sinks, but it is very detailed, and Travis indicated with all the years he's been working there, he's still learning things. So thanks for your time. It was very enjoyable and it was very interesting.
Thank you. Trustee Solinger?
Yeah, in the parks, it's already been mentioned about the parking lot. It's a testament to our Department of Public Works and our Parks Department and the cooperation with the county. We have a couple of employees who are not here now who work very hard to get that funding in place and coordinate the projects that are going to be accommodated by that funding. And Legislator Pratt shared a nice story about her past and how it related to the handicap parking area. She has a family member, and just like a lot of us in the area, we enjoy the Freedom Park concerts and at the events down there in Collins Park. And she would come with her relative who had some handicap, some challenges with her abilities, and they had a difficult time getting across the street and getting into it, and to be able to enjoy it with a handicapped family member in this parking lot and the crosswalk and the accessibility to Freedom Park now is a very welcome sight for her and her family. And it's really a testament to Legislator Pratt's involvement in the community and her service to our area. So again, thank you to the Department of Public Works and Schenectady County for really working together to get that those couple of things done. The Freedom Park stage construction is underway. We had some discussions while we were there that they actually drilled in the support posts that are going to be the base of the structure for the rebuilt Freedom Park stage, which is another welcome thing for the village and the village assets that are there in Freedom Park. And again, it's a testament to the relationship with our partners across the river. So being liaison with the Traffic Safety Board and planning, the planning boards, it's interesting to see a lot of the projects that come into the village up front. The mayor mentioned Stewart's, that's been ongoing for quite some time, and the planning board is very passionate about keeping the downtown business district and Mohawk Avenue and the main street of village familiar to all the residents, and have it keep some unity over the years. So they have worked really hard on discussing those situations with Stewart's, and Stewart's had some challenges that they had to work with the state, and it's a big thank you to Stewart's for sticking with it and working through the challenges with the states, and to our planning board as well, who really keeps the spirit of Scotia alive. And thanks to all that, and it really does look like it's going to be moving forward and have a really nice place. And it's really great to have longtime businesses invest in Scotia, similar to other businesses along the avenue. It's the Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act has been in the news lately, and it's a interesting relationship that we're forced into with the town. So the town has opted out of allowing retail businesses to take residence in the town, and has left that to us. There is a 4% sales tax that can be imposed on that, and to a village like us, who has many monetary challenges and not a lot of opportunities for large scale expansion, which offsets some of those taxes, stuff 4% can really make a difference to our budget year after year after year. So going to be working with NICOM to draft a letter that kind of states our position that I'll be bringing in front of you guys before we put it up, because it's really just going to kind of define that relationship with the town and hopefully keep the majority of that 4% in the village if we do entertain a retail business to come into town to its village. So so that's going on as well. So that's about it.
Thank you. Departmental reports. Can we have a motion to accept them?
I make the motion to accept the departmental part, the reports with thanks.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 15, can we have a motion to do the budget adjustments for October?
I make a motion to accept the budget adjustments for the month of October.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 16, audit of claims. Can we have a motion to pay the bills?
I motion that we pay our bills for the month.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Item 17, can we have a motion to approve the minutes of the October 5th meeting?
I'll make a
I'll
motion to approve the minutes of the October 5th, 2021 Village Board of Trustees special meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 18, can we have a motion to approve the minutes of the October 13th meeting?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the August 13th Village Board of
October.
Trustees, October 13th Village Board meeting, regular meeting.
Okay,
And I'll second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can we have a motion to approve the minutes of the October 18th special meeting?
I'll make the motion for approval of the minutes of the October 18th, 2021 Village Board of Trustees special meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of the November 2nd special meeting.
I'll make the motion to approve the November 2nd Village Board Trustees special meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 21, does anybody have any new business for the order?
Yes, I've been working on with Dave in the fire department on this filtration system. And we were going to try to get a group of us to go over to Shawnee Fire Department, take a look at it. Again, I'm going back to what I said before, this particular item that we're looking for, the fire department will be covered under that money we got from the government. I distributed the paperwork to George and to Justin to take a look at it. And as soon as we set up a tour, we'd like to go take a look at it and ask that department some questions of how the unit ran. And I would like to try to see if we can get one in our department if it's all possible.
Okay, I have not heard anything about that yet, so when we get there.
And we got the
I-
three
I-
quotes from the fire chief about that. I think it was just a
The
continuation
quote that
on
I give
that.
you is what is the unit that they're looking for. It's not, it's in the middle
Yep.
of the thing, so it'll save us some money on that.
When did you get that, George?
He gave me a paper copy of the stuff we already got from Ken way back when.
Anybody else in new business?
One item I just want to kind of add for ongoing discussion. We really need to start, I had a good hour-long conversation with the grant coordinator at Congressman Tonko's office, and she encouraged us to start writing down a list of wish lists and wish projects and projects that need to be done, because there is substantial grants that are come through both the federal government, state and county level that might be able to address some of the needs. But, first we need to, really kind of compile a list of what needs to be done. I'd be more than happy to volunteer my time to perhaps try to help tackle some of these grants. But really, I would like to push this board to consider drafting a job description for a part-time or per diem grant writer to assist with some of these. There's, and especially with the passage of the new infrastructure bill, there's going to be a lot of investments in green infrastructure, water, sewer, roads and bridges. And as we have the linkage study ongoing, there's going to be opportunities for us maybe to start addressing some of the points that have already been pointed out in the linkage study with some of this grant funding. But we need to be prepared to do that. So I'd like to just add this to an ongoing living discussion and start drafting that list.
I agree with that. We've been talking about it for some time, about a grant, possible grant writer, per diem, part-time. I know the mayor and we did have discussions up with the town, but they're not in a position to do anything jointly. I'd be also willing to donate any time of mine for this. I know grant writing is very specialized. It does take a lot of time and, you know, I do believe that we would need somebody, especially since Andrew left us and Andrew Maria, they've spent a lot of time on these past grants and we don't have that avenue. So I do think we need to fulfill that void. Also, some of these grants, I believe that the grant writer can be paid right out of the grant, is my understanding as well. So,
Yeah, typically with a lot of grants, there's allowed for like up sometimes only up to 10% of administrative costs to cover reporting and things like that. You know, the paying for a per diem or a part-time person expecting to come out of a grant, it's kind of like playing the stock market. You never know if you're going to get the grant or if you're not. A lot of these grants, you know, they did mention are very competitive. And a lot of times it's really looking at priorities, checking with priorities, meeting with the different departments that are actually allocating the funds in advance of applying for the grant to make sure that we're submitting a project that not only meets our needs, but also aligns with the priorities of the grant funder. So, you know, as we look at municipal facilities projects, you know, putting the village in a position to be able to go into the 21st century with, you know, a green building, LEED certified, you know, office spaces, community solar projects to, you know, be able to utilize electricity for all our village assets. We've done a lot of these already with the changing of the street lights, you know, the installation of the charging units. So there's a lot of ongoing projects that we have, and it's not fully covered by a grant. If we're doing the planning process of these projects right, elements of those projects could be paid for or subsidized by grants.
I just want to thank
and
Chief
also-
Harrigan for doing a lot of these grants and getting them in. So thanks, Chief.
Okay, can we have a motion to adjourn?
So be it.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.